Cost of Victory, Book 1 of the Unseen Scar series by C.R. Saxon. Epilogue. Tightening her grip on the silver strand, Oya pressed forward. You remember your promise. Oya almost laughed. Of course you'd arrive now. There's no need to worry, fisherman. Isn't there? If anything happens to that woman, those she's working with will panic and disappear. I'll be able to find some of them, but not all. I need her unharmed. Then what are you planning? The fisherman straightened his spine, but it did little to intimidate her. I'll make her connections my own, till I have them all. And then? I don't know. Oya laughed, but it wasn't funny. By then, I'm sure I'll have a plan that suits my promise. Just don't forget. The man removed his floppy fisherman's hat and waved it forward. Did your mother teach you how to access the silver roads? She didn't get the chance. Wicked green eyes flashed at him, but she told me about them. Entering another's unconscious would be easier than dragging them to a dream I made. Then she could set up a permanent connection between her friend and Evelyn's dreams. Oya grinned. He finally called me friend, and I get him to accept the family of giants as well. She didn't mind dragging Ferdinand to Evelyn whenever he slept, but there were other things she needed to do. The fisherman pointed to the locket hidden under her shirt. The door to the silver roads looks just like that. Of course. A little giggle left her as Oya grabbed the locket and studied it. It was still, rectangular, and had countless lines etched every which way across its surface. The back, she didn't need to turn it over. The symbols written there were the dearest things to her. She knew them perfectly. Eyes closed, Oya cleared her mind and pictured the intersection of roads carved on the front of her locket. They came and went in every direction. When those alien green eyes opened, she was treated with a sight only her imagination could top. For all who dared to dream a dream, a road was built to take them there. Your father's words? Mom wasn't the poet. One bare foot stepped upon the starting path, then the next. All that existed in the pitch black were countless metallic roads, webbing across it, herself, and the silver strand. The pulse was light, but she felt it. It was faint, but that'd never stop her. Stepping forward, Oya followed that pulse, that draw of life from the one she was after. Each time a road intersected, she'd feel the directions she needed to go. Sometimes she continued on, sometimes she changed paths, until she stood in a mind that wasn't asleep. Interesting. Picturing a window, Oya reached forward and flung her arms apart, as if throwing back heavy curtains. Prominent veins snaked along the back of hands, starting to show their age. There was nothing particularly distinctive about those hands, but Oya knew them. How could she not? Finding you was easier than expected. Those hands scrolled through a screen, before the view panned up and to the side. All Oya wanted to do was close the curtains and rip out that woman's heart. But she couldn't. Doing so meant failure. So, she watched. She watched a young man scream. Those pleas for mercy weren't ones the Kajoma understood. But Oya did. She knew every subtle image and nuance. The tautness and twitch of his eyes, the particular dance of his tongue, and the movement of his lips, even the way his nose flared when his body tensed. All were things she understood. Every word he couldn't plead, she heard them, saw them. Every single word. 3 deep breaths. Oya pushed aside the appeals and prayers for his sister's safety. She pushed aside the silver blade, leaving oozing red tracks across his skin. She even pushed aside her own fury. It was the only way. Delving deep, Oya found the cluster of connections the woman held. Starting with the thickest, the strongest. That'd be the easiest to work with.